Gender justice now. But what is gender justice? Simply put, gender justice means freedom from all systems that exploit women and gender-diverse peoples. In Manipur, India, women have the role of producing food. They sell their produce and handlooms in the women's market, sustaining their communities. But because of the coronavirus lockdown, women's markets across Manipur have closed. Food insecurity then became a bigger issue for the Manipuri. Relief distributions were inadequate. Families had to survive on one meal a day. The Manipuri women also have had to deal with land grabbing. Without their consent, the government and big corporations have been transforming their indigenous lands to dams, roads and railways.
So when it comes to social injustices caused by corporate unaccountability, it is often the marginalized sectors of the society who are more severely affected. So women whose livelihood have been destroyed had to look for an alternative means of livelihood, and in this process, they put themselves vulnerable in exploitation. Social economic justice cannot be overcome without removing the gender injustice.
In Burma, the Karens have a similar experience. The loss of ancestral lands has led to the growing number of internally displaced persons and refugees across the country. They are abused and harassed by the military, forcing them to stay in camps.
Before we talk about the gender justice, and we should not forget the root cause. And it's not easy to talk about the gender equality, gender justice when the conflict and war is going on in your areas.
Criticising the quality and quantity of aid provided by the Global North to fragile countries is thus important. Aid must not be used for donors' security interests that only drive conflicts and push the marginalised into extreme poverty. Aid for women's programs must also be increased, and development programs must be aligned with feminist principles, because gender justice also means advocating for a feminist, just and rights-based approach to women's development. We must demand justice and freedom from all systems that devalue and exploit women, including patriarchy, racism, neocolonialism, development aggression, capitalism and heteronormativity. These systems cannot be tackled in isolation. They are all connected. There is no justice without gender justice.
It is time that women organizations in local settings and across the world join hands and extend our solidarity to each other for the quest of justice. We must also train and encourage our fellow women to stand up for their rights and enabling them to break away from the stereotypical mindset patriarchy had engraved within us.
Gender justice now.